Fernandez, which has ultimately booked their spot here in Kansas City.
Tonight, yes, a magnificent game. We have two of the tournament's best on display, Emi Martinez and Kobel. Expect both of them to be busy at times this evening.
Just required to shift himself out of his area. And Rodriguez is sent to the ground by Alvarez, who will be on the goal hunt tonight. Julian Alvarez, he has watched Lionel Messi score time and again, including the hat-trick he scored inside this stadium. And he is still yet to get off the mark himself. Ndoye, who has pace, and pace to test Molina. Molina went with him, but the last touch, well, it appeared it had come off the Argentinian, but clearly it was Ndoye.
Well, it's not 3 minutes gone, and we've seen Ndoye take on Molina 2 times already. I think this is going to be on show for everyone to see this evening. Very difficult to stop.
Eighth meeting between these two nations tonight, a third at a World Cup. Though through it all, never a Swiss victory over Argentina. Martinez to Christian Romero. Here is Molina. The pull.
No.
Powerfully away by Alvedi. Rolo. Keep his feet, but Rieder kept his active to try and run that down. And he's got a big part to play for Switzerland tonight, Fabian Rieder. Very much liked by Murat Yakin for the high press that he provides, the energy to this Switzerland team.
And the energy by So. I think those two are going to be integral to them getting chances and being able to play in transition when they win the ball.
Zakaria, who is more naturally a central midfielder, the captain of his club side Monaco, but he's been utilised as a right back in this tournament for Switzerland, certainly in their last few games. Xhaka. Switzerland patiently waiting to see if a gap is going to appear. Freul is the one who makes the bursting run. Back it comes to Alvedi. Here's Manuel Akanji, whose penalty miss against Colombia a few days ago mattered not in the end. Switzerland tonight, remember, no Joan Manzambi again, who has been a World Cup sensation. 3 goals, 2 assists for him, but not able to recover from his injury to play this evening, having missed that Colombia game as well. Take it back, and Rieder has it for Switzerland. Embolo, Rieder. So is there, headed away by Martinez.
So far, Switzerland is dictating the possession and the press. I think they're surprising Argentina in the early stages of this match.
Have lost it again, the champions. Xhaka. Gibril So. 1 change for Switzerland. Zakaria's cross with the deflection, missed by Embolo. And then over the top by a distance from Xhaka. Swiss cap this evening for Granit Xhaka, already the record holder, which you will not be surprised to hear in terms of Swiss caps, and the high number. Whatever path presents itself for Lionel Scaloni's Argentina, to win it from here, they need to conquer anything and everything European.
They have a couple of monumental tasks ahead of them if they want to lift the trophy, but they've got one right here in front of them. The way that Switzerland has positioned themselves, the way that they've set up, and the intent. The Swiss team is set up to win this match, not to just be the almost semi-finalists.
Perhaps encouraged by the fragility that Argentina have quite readily shown in their last couple of games. Tagliafico now. Molina. Here's Messi, who hasn't had too many touches of the ball tonight, and the roar will tell you when he's on the ball. Molina. Already there to sweep it away. Messi. McAllister. Argentina corner.
It is remarkable. Lionel Messi hasn't touched the ball yet, and the first two times he does, he creates two chances. You see 4 Swiss players try to get around Lionel Messi. The problem with that is other players are going to be open if he does elude you.
That Messi hat-trick here against Algeria, the first World Cup treble that had ever scored in his career. And it is Messi's ball which came through, and via a Swiss head, it will be another Argentina corner.
Yeah, he hits these with such precision. Very difficult when the runs are good to defend against it. Timbolo just gets enough on the header.
And given the fact that it feels like it is about 90% Argentinians inside this Kansas City stadium tonight, if not a smidge more. Sound every time Lionel Messi is on or near the ball is deafening. Messi's corner, what a header that is! Alexis McAllister with precision.
ये गांधी यार गोल में आया था मेसी ले आने यसला अर्जेन्टिना हान्दै यार मैं गोल भाइ
And after the scares of recent days,
खतरा यार
Argentina have a storming
मेसी
start.
के अरे अर्जेन्टिनाले जित्छ क्या यार वर्ल्ड कप
Just as truly remarkable, Lionel Messi. Switzerland were just getting in the groove. They thought they started the match well, which they did. Argentina had no attacks. The first time Messi gets an attack, he creates 2 chances. The first corner was inches away from being perfect. The second one is perfect. Tremendous service, tremendous run, tremendous timing, and an even better glancing header by McAllister.
His
और
first
गोले
goal
हाने
of
थे
this World Cup.
टुक्ने खतरा हान्दै थियो आधा ऊ जान्छ जाँदैन है
McAllister with the end product.
एसआरपी
And a monumentally big start for the Albi Celeste.
Yeah, this is exactly what Switzerland didn't want. When you have to chase a game against this Argentinian team with Lionel Messi in it, you're going to have to open up at some stage, and Messi will find openings.
And that goal, the fastest
एसआरपी जान्छ र
so far at this 2026
SRP.
FIFA World Cup. On the 10-minute mark from Argentina's number 20. Provided by Argentina's number 10. All the digits make sense. Pressure from Alvarez. Yakin might fancy a bit of thinking space all of a sudden, the Switzerland head coach.
खतरा हान्दै यार अहिले हान्दै यार एक गोल यार
It's silly. He's ladder into him like that.
There is the FIFA Secretary General, Matthias Grafstrom, and alongside him, one of Argentina's greatest, Mario Kempes.
सुसामजन भयो पापन हाँ गइसक्यो बुढो
Just a little behind so, but he readjusted, but then couldn't find the pass that Ndoye wanted.
Well, that confidence Switzerland showed in the early moments of the match have evaporated just a little bit with this Argentinian goal.
You will note the black armbands tonight as well, Argentina players remembering Antonio Alvaro Ratin, who has died at the age of 89. A tall, tenacious, commanding midfielder in his day, whose legacy at Boca Juniors is like few others. He spent his entire playing career there, won 5 league titles in his homeland, and he represented Argentina at 2 World Cups as well, including 1966 when he captained the national side and wore the famous number 10 jersey. Of recovery behind for the first time in this FIFA World Cup. In fact, they were the only team that went through all of qualifying and indeed up to this very point tonight before Alexis McAllister's goal, having not been behind at any point in this World Cup cycle.
We'll see what kind of character they can show going 1-0 down against one of the world's elites.
Saying this week, Murat Yakin, that there is nothing better than having a chance to play the world champions. It has been clear that they are vulnerable. Well, it doesn't feel that way right now. As Alvarez is beaten to it by Akanji. Messi. Rodriguez been hounded in all directions, and Messi comes away with it for Argentina. Might have just lost his balance, but the nature of McAllister's tenaciousness wins it back temporarily. This is Ndoye.
Very good counter-pressing by DePaul. And Molina here, he had to go and press because he had vacated his spot. This is exactly what Argentina want. They want Lionel Messi on the ball, cutting inside to use that left foot of his. Well defended by Switzerland.
Zakaria trying a new path. Polo just showed too much of the ball to not one but 2 Argentinian defenders, and that was enough. All foul by Rodriguez.
I think Murat Yakin will mind this. It's pressing high up the field, showing their intent again, how they wanted to start the game. Just as Lionel Messi is going to find himself with 2 or 3 players around him, likewise Mbolo.
Forward it goes towards Alvarez, who has the pace to disrupt Akanji. Stuck to the task well, the Swiss defender on that occasion. Paredes. Messi. Alvarez. Back to Messi. Tagliafico, who was one of the players whose perhaps position was under an element of scrutiny, not because of poor performances, but just because of the options that Lionel Scaloni has in that left-back area, and whether he wanted a more defensive or attacking player to fill the position tonight. Nobody had scored more than Argentina coming into these quarterfinals. 14 in their 5 matches, now 15 in 6. Paredes underneath it, but without the distance he wanted to get on it. But then he crunched into the jack-up challenge on Freuler. And Messi with many streaming forward around him. McAllister, hoping, I think that Messi had made that move back in field.
Well, he did. It was Akanji who blocked Messi. Very good defending. And as Argentina gets their rhythm with the ball, Messi starting to drift in the number 10 areas and in these pockets. And Akanji and Alvetti don't know whether to go with them or stay. Lisandro Martinez and attacking Molina's side with Ndoye.
Martinez's ball forward was perfectly placed for Alvarez and his speed, but Alvarez had a head start, and he is flagged for offside. He's certainly now with Argentina in front. He can be a real menace with his pace behind those in red.
And his work rate, and then when he tires out, you have Lautaro Martinez to come in. This Argentinian squad is not lacking of quality.
Zakaria waited for So. Was met very crisply indeed by Lisandro Martinez. There's a litany of Argentinian stars here tonight. Javier Pastore amongst them. Maxi Rodriguez there as well.
Zanetti, legend of Inter Milan and Argentina.
Had a little more of the ball so far, Switzerland. The scoreline clearly isn't the one that they would want, but how would you assess their first quarter of this game, Brad?
I think they started in the first 10 minutes up until Argentina scored very well. I think they were the ones pressing, they were the ones with the ball. It's just that when Lionel Messi gets the ball, he creates magic. He's had the ball a couple of times and he created 2 chances, then 2 corner kicks. One was nearly perfect, the other was perfect.
Fourth time for Switzerland in a World Cup quarter-final, but not since 1954 have they been at this stage of the tournament. Feet by Martinez. Sold not 1 but 2 there, including Gibraltar.
Not bad for a centre-back.
That is our moment to pause and to regenerate of what has been a really quite fascinating start to this final quarter-final in Kansas City, and Argentina leading Switzerland by a goal to nil.
There's no better feeling than all of them. Feel it all with Coca-Cola.
Kau tuli minum Red Bull Jesus. Mulai hira aja tuh.
Mulai kita.
Keslek. Asur. Mau beli ke Bopal game so. Red Bull stok apa ni? Bopal.
So Switzerland behind, having only lost once since the start of 2025. That was a friendly to Germany, one defeat in their last 19 games. One of the form teams coming into this.
Absolutely, and that's really the last game where they were probably second best in the game. Most every other game they've had more of the ball, more attempts, very good results. So again, if they can get an equalizer, get some confidence going in this game, they could cause Argentina problems.
Ricardo Rodriguez, who has started now 32 major tournament games in a row for Switzerland, goes all the way back to 2014. Astonishing longevity to that. Just the captain jacket. And Freuler. Zakaria. Shout from one Martinez to another was very audible. Just Molina, who is quite introverted as a character, but a hard-working member of this Argentina team, was there right back at the last World Cup as well in 2022. They're seeing more than their fair portion of the ball here, Switzerland. Doy had to reach to get there. The chest of soap. Tried to be slipped in by Reader, and Bolo was on his bike ready to go. Alvarez. Watched by Freuler. Back it goes to Paredes for Argentina to restart things again. How about that for a touch by Messi? He's given Molina the room, and he will continue his bombarding run as well. McAllister taken back by Switzerland. Rodriguez asking too much of Ndoye, but Ndoye has got away from De Paul here. Forward towards Mbolo. Martinez comes out. Over went Mbolo, but the Portuguese official was in a very good place to say no free kick, but Ndoye takes it back illegally, and now it is an Argentina free kick.
Well, at first glance, this looks like a wonderful save. He knows he's going to collide. See Mbolo making that run, splitting the defenders. It's a mistake initially by Alessandro Martinez. Misses the ball, and this is really brave goalkeeping by Emi Martinez. You know you're going to take one on the shins or the foot, or the leg, or in the head, but you got to go down. Switzerland are showing signs.
Martinez of Aston Villa, but there is plenty of speculation bubbling away about his future and a possible move to the Italian side Juventus. Akanji, who turns 31 on the day of the World Cup final, which is now just 8 days away.
ऐसे क्या वो बोले थाल तल उ त तल हाल्नु
Who has found an eye for goal this season with his club side Sevilla in Spain. Still waiting for his first ever Swiss international goal. Right at the base of that Switzerland midfield, that is where you will find him almost always. Ndoye back to the tempo setter, Xhaka. Lifted forward looking for Ndoye again, and the intervention needed from Molina.
Yeah, it's on this left-hand side for Switzerland again. Ndoye, even Lionel Messi was coming back that time to defend. Perhaps Murat Yakin's thinking the inclusion of Vargas in the second half, if it stays 1-0, he's got similar pace to that of Ndoye.
Fabian Rieder then to try and initiate the Swiss response. Now Rieder's won the free kick. Alvarez perhaps not wholly comfortable trying to do defensive duties like that.
Well, I think the shout was louder than the foul, but the referee did get it correct. And again, in a dangerous area.
Remo Freuler alongside Fabian Rieder there. Very big player for Bologna this season, Freuler. 9 years now as part of the Switzerland national team. Freuler leaves it. Rieder spins it in, and Martinez's punch had some purpose on it. Leandro Paredes, who was penalised for doing what Leandro Paredes loves to do.
And it was a foul, kicked him right from behind onto his Achilles.
It was his tackle actually right at the end of that Egypt game with the scoreline at 2-2 that ultimately instigated the Argentina win, because 1 minute and 34 seconds later they did go and win the game through Enzo Fernandez. He broke up certainly a 2-on-1, maybe even a 3-on-1 situation with that Egypt attack. His cross floats behind. Could become only the second coach in history, Lionel Scaloni, to win the FIFA Men's World Cup in consecutive tournaments. The only person in that very exclusive club right now is the Italian Vittorio Pozzo, whose record has stood almost 100 years, having won it twice with Italy in 1934 and again in 1938. We have been around Kansas City for the past few days, and you cannot turn a street corner without seeing the light blue and white of Argentina.
And how many Switzerland shirts I've seen? A lot of the blue and white, that's for sure.
I don't think I've seen a single shirt without the number 10 on the back either. Freuler. Zakaria. Freuler. Xhaka's looking for that ball towards Ndoye again. It was too high for him that time.
Right thinking, wrong execution. I think you want to get the ball to Ndoye's feet as much as possible. He's the one who's been causing Argentina any problems for Switzerland.
Had an attempt on goal for either team for the past 18 minutes now. Switzerland continuing to probe though. Algeria in the round of 32, Colombia in the round of 16. Having lost their previous 7 knockout matches. First time that Switzerland have ever won successive knockout games of the World Cup. Zakaria trying to burst his way through and has run into Tagliafico and run into trouble with the Portuguese official because of it.
And when you have a player facing his own goal, there's no need to foul behind. You can put the pressure on without pushing. The moment you do push out your arm or put any pressure on the defender, they fall over. I say 9 times out of 10, the referees call a foul.
Quite the sway of red on the match momentum. In the 40 minutes so far tonight in Kansas City.
And one thing to note, the referee is starting to become a bit annoyed at time wasting. Argentina's throw-ins. He was giving Emi Martinez an earful moments ago.
Bola and Martinez together, and the decision has gone the way of the Swiss forward. Hasn't had his big chance in front of the goal tonight, bar that opportunity that was snuffed out by Emi Martinez. But you know that he may very well take it when it comes along.
Absolutely right, and the link-up play with Ndoye, and I'm sure Murat Yakin will hope that so on the right-hand side, and Reeder will also help him.
Sambolo giving the ball away. And this is Messi. Alvarez couldn't reach it, and back it goes just from Makanji to goalkeeper Korbel.
Was a loose touch by Mbolo, but he did the next best thing. He tracked all the way back to the top of his box to help with the defending. You don't see every striker doing that.
Xhaka, who was talking this week about it being a different Switzerland in 2026 with a different mentality. Freuler, Rodriguez, one of the old brigades. Rash challenge by Paredes outside the penalty area.
That is absolutely not needed. And this is in the most dangerous position of any free kick that Switzerland's had. Best option would have been to stay on his feet.
There is Patrick Mahomes, one of the faces of NFL, and certainly around here. So is there about to be a moment for the door to open for Switzerland just before half-time?
Much more difficult for goalkeepers to deal with in-swinging service from this sort of position. Very difficult to come out and get the ball.
4 in red inside Emi Martinez's 6-yard box. That's where Freuler has sent it, but he's got too much power on it.
That is a missed opportunity. This is in a wonderful position for Switzerland. Difficult for defenders and goalkeepers, just gets under the ball too much.
His assist tonight, Argentina's lead. And actually, strangely enough, it's a second assist of the World Cup for Lionel Messi, but prior to that, no Argentina player had gone beyond a single assist at this tournament. Paredes sent to ground by Mbolo, who is not too happy perhaps with the perceived theatrics of the Argentinian. We shall see how much contact there was. It is a booking.
Paredes dishes out as much as he can take.
So the first yellow card of the evening goes to Argentina of Switzerland.
And it is, he did catch him. It was the follow through. That could be a little payback for a couple of knocks that he's probably received from Paredes.
Paredes payback, I'm sure that is a line that's been talked about in the dressing rooms of various teams before. Argentina will feel that is a bit of a waste, and we are 30 seconds away from finding out how long is to be added on at the end of this first half, and it is still that slender Argentina lead provided by Alexis McAllister. Bolo is fighting for all he's worth.
He's wanting the yellow card. He's getting annoyed at the holding. They're wrapping two arms around Embolo almost every time he's getting the ball. Here you see Lisandro Martinez holding on to his arm.
Switzerland moved that quickly, and Ndoye was offside because of that. And 4 additional minutes at the end of the 45.
I like the forward run. I like the thoughts on it. Just missed time pass, drifted offside by a yard.
First time at this stadium tonight for Switzerland. They've had the fortune of being actually in the same city for the past 3 games, which have all been in Vancouver. LA and San Fran before that, so the Swiss have solely been on the west coast of the United States and Canada. A training camp in San Diego as well, so very different climate tonight. Just enough on it to locate Zakaria. He's penalised.
Well, I'm not sure what that was for. Maybe he thought he threw a shoulder in, but the referee has been very good so far in this first half. If that's the only thing he gets wrong in the game, then I think people would forgive him for that.
Leandro Paredes, who is back at Boca Juniors now for his second spell, but he's been with PSG and Roma and Juventus on his mightily impressive footballing journey. Gets it back again from that free kick. Now so has caught Tagliafico, so Argentina will have another set piece and just edged them a little closer to danger from a Swiss perspective.
Yeah, this was a little bit unlucky. He had his eyes on the ball. Tagliafico did a very smart thing and got his foot in between the ball and the player.
Many of the Argentinian fans around us here are on their feet, waving the blue and white scarves as Messi and Argentina go in search of another goal before half-time. This is to Paul. Molina. Christian Romero. Paredes just assessing the scene. Romero turned around the corner for Molina, tried to flick it on towards DePaul. Kanji clears for Switzerland, and back by Martinez via the aerial route. Good win by Ndoye. That was really brave because he would have sensed the hit was coming. And it came with some force too.
Well, Ndoye wins the ball. That's very late by Molina. That was hurt because right after you head the ball, your body relaxes just a little bit, and that's when the hit came.
Difference maker so far, Alexis McAllister. And Argentina very close to having a half-time lead, courtesy of him. And indeed they do. First goal of this World Cup for Alexis McAllister, but yet another goal involvement for Lionel Messi from the corner to deliver it perfectly onto the head. Certainly not the tallest on the pitch, Alexis McAllister, but he made his presence felt when it mattered. Switzerland with plenty of possession, but not necessarily the penetration to breach Argentina. And at half-time in Kansas City, it is Argentina 1, Switzerland 0.
Now that's a brilliant decision. He's gone for it. Perfect goal!
It is a fabulously worked up atmosphere here. Smiths. Oh, what a pity. A wasted moment.
Together, Paul putting himself in the way.
Esto punya air. Kesejaran salah. Esto punya air dari sana.
Paredes down.
Well, both teams have given away the ball needlessly the last 5 or 6 minutes, giving each other opportunities to score. This time it was Ndoye just taking 1 or 2 extra touches. This time it was a giveaway by Lisandro Martinez.
It's a good recovery, wasn't it, from Paredes? I think just the kick through from Ndoye has done the damage.
Yeah, very good recovery. It could have been a little knee on knee.
Very much one of Scaloni's foot soldiers, Leandro Paredes.
Yeah, you won't want to lose him. He's that steel in front of this back four.
So Switzerland restart where they were with Freuler. Xhaka. It's a goal kick. Do we thought otherwise?
Ndoye might have thought otherwise, but I think the referee got it correct.
Well, it is mainly Argentinians in here. There is a small contingent of Swiss, but perhaps it's to be expected, really, considering there are 5 times as many people living in Argentina than Switzerland, which is a country in Europe home to around 9 million, a landlocked European country as well. And I think solely from a footballing perspective, they often peer enviously at their neighbours, and that might still be the case with France, but look at what else has happened this summer. Germany gone, Austria gone, Italy who never arrived. Whatever happens tonight, these have been sweet days for Switzerland. And still they continue to tease. Zakaria took his eye off the ball and it was costly.
Switzerland are getting themselves into some decent situations on the field, good places on the field. They got to have a little bit more belief in themselves. Mbolo's getting very agitated by the referee not protecting him on the field.
Alistair in the cul-de-sac was trying to find his way out of it before the assistance from the official. Very pleased to have got himself on the score sheet tonight, Alexis McAllister, because the goals ran dry in his final 6 games of his 16 games, I should say, of his club season with Liverpool. Amazing run right now, Argentina, 12 wins in a row in all competitions. They have never had it better than that throughout their history. Seemingly content with Switzerland having more of the ball. Here is Akanji. Rodriguez. And Bolo and Martinez have
the situation under control.
Really difficult to generate power on a cross like this. It was chipped in. It's right over the top of his head. He did well just to get it towards the goal.
It's Molina high up the pitch again. It is without doubt a designated tactic tonight from Scaloni.
Absolutely. When Martinez gets the ball and they're trying to take a little time out of the game, it's Molina that goes up on that right-hand side. Also forces Ndoye to go back and defend deeper.
McAllister. Because Tagliafico of Lyon, where he has been for the past 4 years in France. Intensity of that few seconds.
Yeah, things are getting a little bit feisty on the pitch.
It's been simmering though, hasn't it, this?
It has, without a doubt, and the one that did catch the referee's attention was a foul. It was so right through the back of
fanatic of tattoos, Alexis McAllister. He's got the date of his debut tattooed on his body. He's got a roulette wheel as well with all the shirt numbers that he's ever worn. Messi, who through the years has provided the ink to this Argentina team, the one who writes the history. Who is placing the ball down, but it is Messi who will bend it in. And Switzerland clear as far as Simbolo, who powers forward and now maybe can release Ndoye. And Argentina on the retreat. Dan Ndoye for Switzerland. Behind it goes from Molina. It's a corner.
Really good break, really well defended. Good ball by Mbolo, and he bursts into the box. You see the Argentinian players trying to get back. Look at that, it ended up being a 3v6.
McBetty, Gelson Fernandez, former Swiss internationals, watching on. Corner was just too high for Akanji. Retrieved by Freuler. It's gone beyond the hour now, and Switzerland still trailing through that early McAllister goal. Here's Akanji. Rodriguez. Valverde. Xhaka. Gibraltar. Xhaka and Valverde. And Switzerland probing. Mbolo has come back his way too, and Ndoye, who is fighting for all he's worth. Reeder's got it to Rodriguez, and Ndoye's header, and Martinez for the first time tonight really is needed in the Argentina goal.
Argentina are playing a dangerous game. They're not getting pressure to the ball. They're allowing Switzerland to have a lot of it.
Given away again as So nips in to take it back for Switzerland.
And it was indeed a very good save by Emi Martinez.
In terms of controlling the possession, this is Switzerland's best spell of the game. Xhaka from distance and Martinez sharply down to repel.
This is a much more difficult save than it looks. Good pace on the ball, down to the left. They kept the ball close enough to him. We've seen a couple of balls spilling out in other games. I think there's an extra little zip on this one.
And perhaps recognising the severity of the situation, Switzerland are moving through the gears.
Yeah, they're starting to really apply more pressure. You see Rodriguez is going forward. Zakari on this side, on the right-hand side, is going forward. But Argentina are not getting pressure to the ball like they did in the first half.
Reader with time to turn, and Bolo. Again, he just has not had a moment tonight, Brelin Bolo, where he hasn't had either Lisandro Martinez or Christian Romero right up behind him. But just like against Cabo Verde in the round of 32, and just like against Egypt in the round of 16, there are Argentinian nerves everywhere. Rodriguez, Ndoye, breaches and scores! Beyond the Argentina defence!
Switzerland. Anak, putra anda nanti.
Sharp and clinical from Dan Ndoye.
Well, this has been coming the last 5 or 10 minutes. A lot of touches on the ball for Switzerland, a lot of opportunities. Argentina's been sitting off. We said in the first half, Ndoye is the problem man for Argentina. And it's just a wonderful little 1-2 between he and Rodriguez. Opens his foot up, gives Emi Martinez very little chance. He also had Bolo, who made a great run. He could have played it across the goal. Just a wonderful bit of football.
Scored a huge goal against Germany in the European Championships 2 years ago, Dan Ndoye. And this one will sit amongst his greats too, because it has pinned back the world champions here. And once more, Argentina in a World Cup knockout game in 2026 have got some work to do.
Yeah, they're second best at this moment in time. Switzerland started the second half really well. And now with that goal, they're going to have that extra bit of belief.
I think Paredes is about to receive a yellow card. That ongoing battle between him and Brelin Bolo has another chapter. Ford is not very happy with something that Paredes has said to him there. But there is eminently frustration amongst these Argentinian players.
Absolutely. And Bolo's been a handful. Every time that Bolo's holding up the ball, the Argentinian players are wrapping their arms around him. They're kicking him. I could see one of the Argentinian players collecting a second booking. And Bolo's also on a booking, so he's going to have to keep his cool.
And Scaloni on the roller coaster of emotions again. Now, this is interesting. Referee has been sent to the screen here. Suggestion of mistaken identity here, and I think the question is whether Mbolo has simulated rather than the contact from Paredes.
Could have a case. It looks like he's jumped in the air right there before any contact at all. Oh, this would be such a shame for Switzerland if a booking gets taken away and Mbolo gets a booking. That would be his second.
These are nervous moments, I think, for the Swiss players, the Swiss coaching staff.
After review, there is no foul for number 5. And number 7, there is a clear simulation. Final decision, yellow card to number 7. No!
Yellow card. And Switzerland are irate, but they are down to 10.
This is quite remarkable. I think there's going to be a lot of people, more than Switzerland, upset with a decision like this in a game of this magnitude. I feel really sorry for Mbolo. What's the most important now is that the Swiss players keep their head. They're in the ascendancy. They've been playing really well this second half.
He is having to be pulled away, Mbolo. He is visibly distraught. That was the challenge at the end of the first half that brought him a yellow card. And now Mbolo's night is over, and you can see that he is devastated by this turn of events.
Well, it's a time for cool, calm heads from the Swiss players. Certain substitutions going to have to be made by Switzerland to get another front runner on the pitch.
And still the discussions go on between two experienced heads, Granit Xhaka and Leandro Paredes. So just over 15 minutes to go, plus we will have quite a few minutes now of additional time in this game. And just when the Swiss were believing that they could create the biggest shock.
Yeah, the table had really turned. Argentina looked lackluster, looked void of thought. But these Swiss players will still be full of confidence. They're just going to have to do a little bit more defending.
Enzo Fernandez. Taliafico. Side flag is up.
Linesman was in great position.
There's no better feeling than all of them. Feel it all with Coca-Cola.
Betul, Red Bull. Boleh kira ada.
Mulai kita. Zakaria. Molina. Now Enzo Fernandez, who was the man to the rescue for Argentina in that win over Egypt. Sandro Martinez. Paredes. To Paul. Just able to take 2 touches before looking long for Ndoye, but he's going to feel isolated now, and Switzerland don't have that central focal point to their forward line anymore with the red for Mbolo. Now Messi somehow emerged with the ball, but Argentina can't keep the ball. Also finds a way out towards Reader. Interception by Zakaria just before it came the way of Nico Gonzalez. Retrieved again by Enzo Fernandez. Gonzalez. Fernandez. Paul, Messi, beautifully done. It's an important boot in there from Switzerland's most important in Granit Xhaka.
This Swiss team is really well versed defending. Just because they're a man down, Argentina's having a hard time even keeping a hold of the ball.
Trying to bend it round the corner for Ndoye. Perhaps doesn't have the physical capabilities to brush Romero away. The Swiss team who have beat. The structure is clear, the blueprint has been in place for a long time.
Yes, they most definitely all know what they're meant to do, what they want to do, what they need to do, how to lift each other up.
They are preparing a trio of changes by the looks of things, Switzerland. This is Paredes for Argentina. Paredes lifting it in, it's a beautiful ball, and it couldn't be deliciously finished off by Messi, as perhaps many anticipated it might. And that offside flag would have made sure there was no spectacular ending regardless.
But there's still not a lot of quick ball movement. I think he is onside. I think Kobo did brilliant not to go to ground. You would think that man would finish every time in that position.
We've seen it so many times, haven't we, through the years? Latest Argentinian changes, Montiel and Lautaro Martinez. And it was Lautaro Martinez's absolutely stupendous ball to deliver the cross for Enzo Fernandez's winner against Egypt in the round of 16. So he's mixing things up, he's getting the fresh legs on the pitch. And that is what Murat Yakin is going to do here as well with Switzerland. It's a trio of changes, so Ndoye and Reader off. And also Muheim as well. So Switzerland's goal scorer amongst those who make way.
Doi surprises me a little bit, but he also must be incredibly tired. Put in a tremendous shift.
कसको मोबाइल हो यो भिडियो मोबाइल हो
Exiting number 11, Don.
यो वाकले अनि वा साइन राखेर
Perhaps no surprise that the Swiss changes, Brad, have a defensive feel about them.
Yeah, defensive field, and Amdouni's going to go up front, and he's going to be the one that's going to try to expend all the energy and try to catch Argentina on a break.
Zakaria, who at least for now has shifted into the midfield role, and he's pinched it back for Switzerland. The only ball really was Amdouni.
They've also moved Zakaria up on the right midfield. I assume that's for an outlet for the longer passes. Vidmar's coming this right-hand side.
And England no closer to knowing who they are going to face in the World Cup semi-final. One of these two, McAllister or Argentina. Sandro Martinez. This is Nico Gonzalez. Watched carefully by one of the new arrivals, Sylvain Vidmar. There's another who's been around the block in the Swiss Red, fourth major tournament for him. Paredes. Martinez. Lifting it in, looking for Lautaro Martinez. Switzerland are deep and pinned in right now by Argentina.
They are, and this is the first time in the second half that it presents a little bit of danger.
And that cross had danger written all over it, and it's still alive, and over it goes. From McAllister, again with his head. After all of the good work from Nico Gonzalez.
Well, as they're sitting back, they're now not getting pressure to the ball, and that's always a danger when you have Lionel Messi around the box, and that is a wonderful opportunity again with the head from McAllister. He's claiming there was a bit of a deflection. I didn't see it.
Might have been a question over whether Nico Gonzalez had actually kept that ball in too. Amdouni now running that Swiss forward line all by himself. Missed all of their World Cup qualifiers because of that ACL injury that he sustained. This is club football in England with Burnley. Because he didn't have much football in the past 12 months with them. Messi, Gonzalez, Sandro Martinez. Here's Paredes. And so Fernandez. Nine minutes at the end of the 90 as Alvedi is required to defend, and it did brush off the top of the Swiss head. Argentina have a corner.
Well, for the rest of this 9 minutes plus extra time, if it goes there, they're going to have a lot of those types of balls to deal with.
Well, they are doing their very best to make it a blue and white wall in Kansas City, the Argentinian fans, as their team look for another late goal, another passage into the next round. Where's the magic coming from tonight? Enzo Fernandez. 6 in light blue and white inside that Swiss penalty area. This is Paredes. Fernandez. And now finally they've located Messi. Lionel Messi! Felt like that might have been the moment.
Kobo was beaten, you can tell. I've been in that position. Watch his body shape as Lionel Messi just ducks his shoulder, comes over. He knew it was past him. And at his age, this is what he can still do. He's so quick. Takes it over to his weaker foot. Just misses.
And they were just toying with Switzerland there, weren't they? Just waiting and waiting for Messi to find the space. But still we go on. And as it stands, we are going to go on into a further 30 minutes of football in this final World Cup quarter-final. Switzerland down to 10. Gonzalez, wild from him.
Yeah, a little wasteful. 4 players in the box.
Lionel almost to the rescue for Lionel again.
अर्जेन्टिनाले गोल हाल्यो नि
I mean, they have all their premier attacking players on the pitch now. Argentina in Alvarez and Messi and Lautaro Martinez. Here is Julian Alvarez. Gonzalez. Paredes almost slipped into the challenge. McAllister scampers over to give it back to Alvarez again. Martinez. Paredes. One moment is all it might take.
Messi's starting to come alive. He's getting a lot of touches around the box now.
Atmosphere unbelievable inside Kansas City Stadium. I'm sure they'd love to have Valon Barami out there right now, Switzerland, just to help add a little bit more structure to this defence that feels at the moment like it is just clinging on in there. The Brelembolo red card in the 72nd minute. Off goes Mr. Dependable, Ricardo Rodriguez. It is Uray Chomet on in his place, centre-half who plays his club football in Spain with Valencia. First appearance actually at this World Cup for Chomet.
That's a like-for-like substitution, just getting fresh legs in the defence.
Lifted in over the head of everybody, including Lautaro Martinez. Well, he has single-handedly dragged Argentina out of the world before. And the eyes are lighting up now.
The real interesting part will be, what does Switzerland do if it goes to extra time? I'm not sure if they can just sit here and let Argentina lay siege for 30 more minutes.
We are 2/3 of the way through added time. And thus only 3 minutes away from a second quarter-final in the space of a few hours at this World Cup going to extra time. That's what England needed earlier to beat Norway, and that is who one of these two is going to play in Atlanta on Wednesday.
Such small margins, fine lines when you get to this stage of a World Cup.
Martinez. Paredes. Messi. McAllister. Messi. Julian Alvarez. There's just a block of red in front of him right now and the rest, but in it comes eventually from Alvarez. Starting things Argentina with Romero. Laser sharp focus now needed for Switzerland if they are to push this through to extra time. Messi. And Widmer, unsure, puts it behind for a corner.
He did the right thing. He didn't know how close the player was behind him. I'm sure he got a shout from his goalkeeper that there was a man there.
Perhaps one more sharp piece of Switzerland defending is needed here before extra time. Messi. And the ball comes all the way through. Acrobatic effort and pushed away by Korbel.
And sharp defending needed indeed. Very good save by Korbel through a group of players.
And they press and they squeeze again, Argentina, though. Messi loses it, but not for long. Fernandez. The swell of pressure is great now on Switzerland. Argentina giving everything they've got before another 30 minutes for not one, but both of these teams in these knockout rounds. Can Argentina find the winner? Headed away by Akanji. Paredes. The referee has seen a foul inside that penalty area, so Switzerland are going to get a chance to breathe here for the pull on Moheim.
Here is this save. Again, it's Lisandro Martinez, the center back with the acrobatics. That's a wonderful save. It goes through the legs of Lautaro Martinez. He wouldn't have seen it until very late.
And not for the first time in these knockout rounds at this World Cup. Switzerland and Argentina will need an extra 30 minutes. 1-1 at the end of the 90 in Kansas City.
Extra time, extra range.
There's no better feeling than all of them. Feel it all with Coca-Cola.
Betul lebih Red Bull Jesus. Boleh hira ada tu. Malah kita. Slik. Asal. Mobil ka bopal game so. Red Bull stock apa
Bobal. He's heading for the goal now. Whoa! That's stylish as it gets. He's through now. What a brilliant finish!
Proton EMAS 7.
The new TVS N-Torque 125 Race XP. Play smart.
Real Foodsबाट बनेको Real Juice, चिजको Real स्वाद।
तपाईले चाहेका सामान किन्न अब सोध्नै पर्दैन। MAW हायर पर्चेज।
Cheesy, spicy, lemony bites. Quixley गर्छ mood alive. Quix. Taste the flavors of the world.
Quick start!
Asian Paints Royal. जहाँ हुन्छ खुसीको बस।
नेपालको बेस्ट क्वालिटी सिमेन्ट युनाइटेड सिमेन्ट्स हरेक निर्माणको धड्कन उत्कृष्ट एवं विस्तारित
Panchakanya bathware, luxury made affordable.
विगत 45 वर्षदेखि अमृत तेल नै हो।
आजै एनसेल एप डाउनलोड गरेर 1 GB डेटा सित्तैमा पाउनुहोस्। There is no better feeling than all of them. Feel it all with Coca-Cola.
रिजालको पाइप लीक प्रूफ अनि साँच्चीकै बलियो।
वही celebration हरेक generation. Hinstar TV.
The new TVS N-Torque 125 Race XP. Play smart.
Now that's a brilliant decision. Slipped through beautifully. Oh, he's in trouble now. He's gone for it. What a goal!
There's no better feeling than all of them. Feel it all with Coca-Cola.
Proton EMAS presents Extra Time, Extra Range.
And odd really, because both of those two were on the pitch when this happened 12 years ago in Brazil. Granit Xhaka and Lionel Messi.
Two wonderful careers, Xhaka, Messi. Both leaders for their countries.
Argentina using the break to make a change. The fresh legs of Thiago Almada, who is on here for Enzo Fernandez.
Another attacking option, very good in tight spaces, very good around the box.
It's been used in all but one of Argentina's games at this World Cup, Thiago Almada. And a very familiar face to people who view football in this very country, having had his highly successful spell with Atlanta United. And so, for the second time in the knockout stage at this 2026 World Cup, it is extra time again for both Argentina and Switzerland. But do you anticipate, Bradford, that we are going to see more of the same in terms of Switzerland trying to sit in and absorb as much as possible?
Yeah, I'd like to see Murat Yakin figure out a way that they could get a bit of possession with the ball, but they've come out again with 5 across the back, that 3 in front of the back 5, and then just Amdouni up front. So I do see a long 30 minutes ahead for Switzerland.
Messi wins it back. McAllister had a swing at it, so did Martinez, and the ball spins away eventually and behind. It's going to be a corner. Nico Gonzalez was at the back of the queue waiting for his moment.
You see a lot of red bodies, red shirts. They're just going to try to have to throw their body, throw their head. Goalkeeper making saves.
And it was from this end of the stadium where Argentina scored via a Messi corner in the first half of this game. Almada Straight off the bench, what can he do? There was an element of fatigue about that effort from Julian Alvarez.
Yes, Switzerland will be happy if that's what they're getting their opportunities from.
5 years ago yesterday, the first Lionel Scaloni triumph when Argentina beat Brazil in the Copa America final in the Maracanã as well in Rio de Janeiro, and what a sparkling few years it has been with him at the helm. Argentina with the fresh legs on the pitch. Well worked that. Good save from Korbel. Almada getting himself into a good position.
Yeah, he's really good in these areas. You see there's 5 red shirts around, but he's still able to do a creative 1-2. Didn't get all of the strike.
Can almost play that Di Maria role now, can't he, Thiago Almada? I mean, he is 25, so he's moving into the wrong side of the 20s, but for a long time I think they've been talking about him and having the potential to be the long-term replacement for Di Maria.
Yeah, and he's a little bit different in his movements. He can definitely come inside a bit more than Di Maria did. Di Maria's passing and final ball was just superb, so he's going to have something to achieve if he's going to get that status.
Here is the substitute, Almada. Slip which was almost advantageous because it nearly came the way of Alvarez. Almada, back it goes to Romero. Has no worries at the moment about anyone being behind him. They are high up, the 2 centre-halves. Martinez, he thought about it. Almada, Gonzalez. They are sticking to their task, Switzerland. Not even a brief sniff of a gap at the moment for Argentina. Messi. Almada. Gonzalez. This is Leandro Paredes. Happy to be patient, Argentina, and Switzerland, I think, likewise. Messi. Almada, good hit, side netting. But they had many on their feet who just wondered whether the whiz kid had come up with something special there.
Well, since he's come on, the ball hasn't been on the right-hand side. It's only been on the left because of that man. He's cutting, he's getting opportunities to shoot. But accommodations just skims the outside of the post.
Well, he has run himself dry, Dennis Zakaria.
A really good shift.
And one of those who is sat on a yellow card for Switzerland. And of course, if they do make the semi-finals, then Mbolo will not be able to play. But he has successfully walked the tightrope tonight. And Ardon Yashiri, who made his first ever World Cup start last time out against Colombia, is on in his place. But he enters the fray knowing that he's probably not going to see a great deal of the ball here.
Akanji and Elvedi have been absolutely immense in the back for Switzerland.
Euler pulled to the ground, and Almada, the latest to go into the book. Just very quietly, Remo Freuler has kept things ticking along alongside Granit Xhaka in that Swiss midfield.
Yeah, he was a big part of why they were performing so well in the second half. He had to take on a different role since the sending off.
It's the hand of a Kanji that is asking for Xhaka to send the ball his way. Him and Elfedi, the two Swiss centre-halves there. Rare chance perhaps for Switzerland to unnerve Argentina given the circumstances of this game now. Xhaka's free kick intended for a Kanji, who overstepped the mark. It's a free kick to Argentina. The tension is high, it really is. There is a lot on the line for these two teams. Taro Martinez also going to get a booking, so that's a couple of quick yellows for Argentina.
That's something to keep an eye on for Switzerland. They'll know the players that are booked, perhaps try to get another one of them sent off so they can level the playing field again.
Argentina, the world champions, Switzerland, who have never been into a World Cup semi-final before. And actually, their last World Cup quarter-final, which was back in 1954, still remains the highest-scoring World Cup game of all time. They lost 7-5 to Austria in a tournament that Switzerland were actually hosting. Remarkably, Switzerland were 3-0 up inside 19 minutes of that match. By the time it was half-time, it was Austria 5, Switzerland 4. Here is the substitute, Yashiri. And the effort from a long way out from Xhaka, which I don't think panicked Martinez too much.
No, it was always going up and over, but at least Switzerland's had this couple of minutes of respite from defending in their own 18-yard box.
Argentina are not hanging around, and they can't really afford to hang around. They have the numerical advantage. Can they breach this stubborn Swiss defence here? If anybody can come up with something to conjure something remarkable, it is Messi. But not that time. "32nd World Cup game tonight for Lionel Messi, 15th in the knockout stages. And with the little noise that will be ringing in the ear of all the Argentinian fans in here, that every time they see Messi now in the knockout stage at this World Cup, they will be aware that it could be his last. Armada taking it back off Paredes. Romero has come up with a big goal himself in recent days in the World Cup. Here's Messi. And again Messi. And now Argentina inside the Swiss penalty area, where they haven't really been able to get themselves into positions like this. And it doesn't last too long. Broken up by Amdouni.
Switzerland's doing a really good job of when Messi is coming across the 18-yard box. Another defender's covering, and another one, and another one. I know it's thankless work, and it's hard, but you have to do that against someone as great as him.
And they might well be counting down the minutes, Switzerland. Argentina will be doing the same, but for entirely different reasons. One of them will feel like the time is racing by, and the other will sense that it is slowed down. Montiel. Messi. He wants the free kick, and Argentina almost stop to make sure that they get that free kick. And you know why? It's in Messi range.
It's
Just a question, but if they have possession of the ball, shouldn't you play on instead of calling the free kick? He gets rid of the ball. It is a foul. He puts his body into him. But then Argentina had the ball to play on.
And this spells caution for Switzerland.
I think Kobo will be quite happy that it's the distance it is. Not saying that Lionel Messi doesn't have the quality to score from here, but at least it'll give Kobo a good chance at a sight of the ball.
The brilliant cogs are whirring. Is this going to be another special Lionel Messi moment? Straight into the Swiss wall. Paredes. Paredes will continue here. Armada, McAllister. Messi. Switzerland are playing with 10, and Argentina right now are playing with 10 as well. Entirely sure, but I think that's Nico Gonzalez who is sat down. One way, blue and white traffic. McAllister. Far too much on that cross from him.
And again, Switzerland will be happy that this is ruled out of play. That was a scrape of the studs. Inadvertent, not meant. But very painful.
He's picked himself up now, the Atletico Madrid player, or at least he has been with Atletico Madrid this season on loan from Juventus. In the final seconds of this first half of extra time. At the moment, as was the case there from Yashari, everything from Switzerland is from range and is full of hope and not much more.
That one there, and Xhaka's earlier. But just to tick those extra seconds off the clock, I think, will be a welcome sign for them.
60 seconds at the end of this first half of extra time. Still deliciously poised as Messi swings it in for Argentina. It's back across goal and away from danger. Still not moving Gonzalez, but he moved quick enough to almost provide an assist there. Paredes. Romero. McAllister. Montiel. Lisandro Martinez. It's back in by Gonzalez and behind for an Argentina corner, but they haven't got long to take it.
Top time in a good arranger. What do you want, like?
Beyond the one additional minute at the end of this first half of extra time, Messi's corner. Over the bar by Romero. And now we are only 15 minutes away from penalties. Switzerland remains stubborn, sticking to their task, having been down to 10 since the red card for Mbolo in the 72nd minute. NFL's Kansas City Chiefs and red, really the only acceptable colour to have here normally for a game. There's a wall of red right now that Argentina cannot breach. In there, amongst it all, the captain, the leader, the man who has won more caps than anyone else for Switzerland, Granit Xhaka. Who knows what will be needed across these next 15 minutes, but they are going to have to maintain these levels of bravery.
Well, I think he knows what's needed. It's a lot of running, it's a lot of determination, a lot of blocks, a lot of communication, wasting time when you can, a lot of the ugly stuff.
Otamendi is a half-time change in extra time for Argentina, so that is like for like in the back line with Romero departing. 38 years old now, Otamendi. And so, 15 more minutes to play in Kansas City tonight. And Switzerland with the 10 are trying here to startle the world champions Argentina. Whatever happens tonight, they have done their nation proud. They were, I'm sure in many people's eyes, on top of the game when Mbolo received his red card not too long after the equaliser from Ndoye.
But they're going to lose the ball, lose it there. Deep in Argentina's half for a throw-in. Should be taking it next to the corner flag.
Last team to beat Switzerland in a competitive game was Spain in the UEFA Nations League in November of 2024. They are a tough nut to crack. That's McAllister landing on the toes of Muheim.
Each one of these fouls Switzerland will be happy with because it can take up to 30 seconds to a minute off the clock. Plus they get a half chance on a set piece.
And once more, the prominent aerial threats have gone forward Akanji and Alvedi. And Widmer is in there too. and Gonzalez trying to keep an eye on Akanji. The free kick is a super one. That was bent in with some purpose from Granit Xhaka there.
Yeah, it's the best service they've had on a set piece today. Horrible one to defend.
But now they are having to assume a position that has been one of regularity for them in the last half an hour or so. Back into their defensive shape once more, Switzerland. This is Messi. And bringing it away is Zeki Amdouni, but he is all on his own. And he's surrounded by players, Amdouni, and he's managed to burst his way through, and he just wants the return pass now, which wasn't good enough from the participating Vidmar.
Seems like Murray Yakin has said, if you can have a chance and you feel good, go and join in with Amdouni. We've seen on a couple of occasions now 2 or 3 players going with him.
Alistair, and like a magnet, the ball lands at Messi's feet. Alistair. Almada. Gonzalez. Almada for Argentina. Messi. Sergio Martinez, Almada. They're trying to craft something almost like a thing of beauty here, Argentina.
I think he thought McAllister was going to step forward for a first-time hit.
Martinez. Under the reach of Lautaro Martinez.
McAllister just wasn't on the same page as Thiago Almada. Here's that service. It's a really well-defended ball by Lautaro Martinez, going back towards your own goal, in between the goalkeeper and the attackers.
An intervention from him that was almost as good as the intervention for the winner against Egypt. Jose Manuel Lopez, one for Leandro Paredes for Argentina. So that is another striker onto the pitch. It is, I would say now, as full frontal really as Argentina possibly can be in terms of having strikers on the pitch.
No real positions, they're just all across and then let Messi get the ball and try to feed you.
The nerves will be creeping in, certainly amongst the supporters. Messi for Argentina, caught by Korbel.
Good goalkeeping. That's what you want. You're a defender, you're tired. You just hear that shout from your goalkeeper. You're so happy.
Took him 13 internationals to earn his very first clean sheet, Gregor Korbel, but he's one of the standout goalkeepers in Europe right now. Brilliant season with Borussia Dortmund in Germany. Can't keep it in. Never beaten Argentina before, Switzerland. 8th game between them tonight. And maybe the only way they are going to beat them is via a spot kick situation from here. That's what ultimately Switzerland are playing for. A situation that Argentina do not want. Messi! Shoveled away by Korbel.
Hey, ball, I know. या खतरा हान्दिएर मेसी उसले मेसी कुन चाहिँ हान्यो आब्बा डेन्जर हान्दियो यार अर्जेन्टिनाले जितेको नि अब त जित्यो 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 एक 112 मिनट हुन्छ है होला नि त देखाएको नि त्यस्तो सबैको
And Argentina have their extra time get out goals again.
डेन्जर हान्दियो यार अर्जेन्टिना चामल नुन दाल मसला
Just truly remarkable stuff. It started with Lionel Messi and a great save by Colbo. It comes over to Julian Alvarez, and what a way to get your first ever World Cup goal. And it's just a magnificent strike. It is going up and over the goal and wide until you see that vicious dip. Colbo is just left helpless. Heartbreak for Switzerland at this moment in time, and just complete relief for Argentina.
Spellbinding stuff from Julian Alvarez. A noise like no other inside Kansas City Stadium. His first goal of this World Cup, and one that he will never forget.
1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13
They call him El Araña, the spider, because of his ability to look like he had multiple legs. I think the goalkeeper, Corbell, could have been a spider with multiple arms there. He wouldn't have stopped it.
No, that's one of those strikes, I'm afraid, that from a goalkeeper standpoint is just virtually impossible to save. See, tempers are flaring here before the kickoff.
Well, Lopez is one of those that has been booked, having only just come onto the pitch. And now the Swiss tactics have to change again. Off comes Freuler. This is Ruben Vargas, who was the man to the rescue. His spot kick won it against Colombia in the round of 16.
And you've also seen the Argentinian players. They're talking of who's playing in what positions now. They have virtually 5 strikers on the pitch.
It's a really good point. Who is going to sit in now and try and defend this? And if that is to be the winning goal from Alvarez, and if Argentina do go on and win the World Cup again, they will be talking about that goal for decades to come. But we aren't done yet. Attack by Amdouni. This is Vidma for Switzerland, who need to find more heart now. Xhaka. Nicely floated ball. Out comes Martinez. Claims it with authority.
Good goalkeeping. That's a floated ball. You know you're either going to get hit by an attacking player or you're going to have to hit your own player. He chose the latter.
He'd have been wondering, I think, for quite a sizable period of this extra time, Emi Martinez, whether he was going to be needed in a shootout here. And they are having a sweet release now.
Well, McAllister's going to have to come off the pitch. Oh no, because the medicus didn't come out. Sweetest of strikes.
Unstoppable. The aim of Alvarez and the aim for Argentina to go on and win another World Cup. Closing in on that semi-final 4 days from now against England. As it stands, it will be those two in Atlanta. Unless Switzerland can dig deep than perhaps they've ever dug before. And there is little more he can do from here, Marit Yakin.
He's really unlucky. He had a brilliant halftime. He came out and his team were magnificent until Embolo was set off. Truly magnificent.
They are the extra time specialists, Argentina. They have done it time and again through the years. Yashari for Switzerland, one of those who is fresh legs and has won them a free kick here.
He is to be careful. Lopez came on. He's already been booked. That could have been a second booking.
It wasn't too long ago that he sent in the most beautiful free kick that nearly led to a Switzerland goal. Something similar required here from the Granit Xhaka shelf.
Similar position.
And most in red are committed forward for it from Xhaka off the top of the one-man Argentinian wall, which was Lionel Messi. "90 seconds plus stoppage time from the end. Kanji has stayed up there. Switzerland with bodies forward are now open, and it can all be sealed here. It is Messi for Argentina. Lionel Messi. It's a corner off the shins of Xhaka.
Next best thing for Argentina, get a corner. Take some of those precious seconds off the clock. Difficult to waste time now with the new rules in place.
It appears it is going to be the first game of this World Cup that is going to pass by without a Lionel Messi goal in it. Someone else's turn for the headlines tonight. Julian Alvarez's name is going to be up in lights tomorrow. I imagine in Buenos Aires and beyond, they will be bouncing right now. Is there any more in the Swiss tank? They have 4 minutes. There is still time for Switzerland. There is still time for the nerves of Argentina to be activated. The 10 men of Switzerland, Yashari, deep ball towards Vidmo, almost took his eye off it right at the end. And it's hurried out of play. Didn't quite cross the line. Xhaka has it again for Switzerland. But he has it taken away from him by Alvarez. And now suddenly Argentina with Almada can seal it. Almada, the save, but the follow-up is in. Lautaro Martinez sends Argentina to the semi-finals.
3 हान्ने त अनि 3 गोल हान्दैछ अर्जेन्टिना 3-1 3 हान्दै गयो अर्जेन्टिना 4 मिनेट भयो खतरा हान्दै
And Switzerland's brave challenge is at its end. Atlanta and England. Here come the Albiceleste.
Well, Switzerland were throwing caution to the wind. And when that happens, the likelihood that it was going to end up 2-1 was very low. They were either going to go to 2-2 or this would happen. Very good save by Kobel. Thiago Almada really took off with his jets. Lautaro Martinez with the simplest of finishes. And that does seal it for an England v Argentina semi-final in Atlanta.
Well, he was the talk of the town, Lautaro Martinez, for his sublime ball that won the game against Egypt via Enzo Fernandez's head, and now he has a goal of his own. And this one takes Argentina over the finish line. Tonight it is all about the men that surround Messi rather than the man himself. Well, they haven't had a moment like this, I don't think, really, in the knockout stage so far. Argentina, some minutes to relax, to be at peace with the situation.
No, they've had backs up against the wall and against two much smaller nations, football-wise, than them, where there would have been a lot of criticism if they had been knocked out. I do think they were a little fortunate in this game with the way that it panned out with Embolo sending off. Switzerland started this second half remarkably well.
And for the first time since the FIFA rankings were introduced back in 1992, we are going to have all of the top four in the pre-tournament rankings in the semi-final of the World Cup. In every single sense, the stars have shone. Argentina's pursuit of greatness goes on. They will go back to Atlanta, back to the scene of their miraculous escape from the clutches of the Egyptians. And now, just 2 wins from ultimate glory again. The road, as it has been throughout these knockout rounds for Argentina, has been rough. But again, they have found a way. And the embraces will be of joy and of relief that they could finally finish Switzerland off after extra time. Switzerland beaten in yet another World Cup quarter-final, but with their heads so high. But it is Argentina who move into the Final Four. And boy, do they know how to make their supporters sweat.
It's just truly remarkable, this Argentina team. It takes things down to the wire. They have so much firepower going forward, but teams can score against them, as been proven in this World Cup. If you're England or if you're France or Spain watching this game, I mean, you know you're going to be in for a remarkable test, but you think you can score against this Argentinian team, and rightly so. But you also, these players, Lautaro Martinez and Alvarez now getting off the mark, and Messi, they have goals. So these semi-final matchups are going to be just more remarkable matches that we've seen throughout this World Cup. This World Cup has provided some of the best moments in World Cup history, with upsets and nail-biting moments and last-minute goals and incredible saves and sendings off, and it's just not going to stop. And there's 2 semi-finals, a final, and a 3rd and 4th place game, and I don't think it's going to stop until that trophy is lifted.
And a word on Switzerland as well. First quarter-final tonight since 1954. It felt like history perhaps was beckoning when Dan and Doy scored that equaliser.
When Indoy scored, there was only one team on the pitch, and that was Switzerland. They were making all the moves, they were winning all the second balls, they had all the possession, they were creating all the chances. Argentina looked void of thought, which is remarkable with who they had on the bench. And then that sending off, and it just changed the entire tide.
And one of the assets of Argentina is, Brad, the fact that they have shown some serious grit over these past 3 games. It's been a troubled knockout stage, there is no doubt about that. It, for a long time tonight, felt like it was going to be more troubled than any of the others, and yet they keep finding a way.
Well, when you have goals in your team, you're always going to be confident that you can score, but they keep conceding goals at inopportune times of the game, and that man, Martinez, he had to make a couple of great stops tonight as well. Let's put it this way, Argentina's games are not boring.
Good news for Argentinian fans everywhere, but perhaps the bad news, if you are of English persuasion, is that Argentina have never lost a World Cup semi-final before. Every time they have got there, they have progressed to the final. It's happened on 5 occasions. And for the first time ever, Lionel Messi will be facing England. That has never happened before.
That's going to be a tall task for Argentina, watching England and watching Argentina play. England has some weapons that can score against this team. That's going to be a very difficult game for both teams. Weather's not going to be an issue because it's going to be played indoors. Thomas Tuchel will have his men ready. They both had to endure a lot of extra minutes on the field. England had to play in 40-degree heat. Be a very intriguing contest, but I think one that both teams will feel that they can win.
And Switzerland again will see this as progress. There is only a small portion of those wearing red in the stands here at Kansas City, but you can feel the pride emanating out of the stadium in their direction. Played over 60 minutes with 10 men tonight, Switzerland. But for Argentina, closer and closer to that prize. They could feasibly, in 8 days' time, join Germany and Italy with 4 World Cup trophies to their name. And then it would only be their great rivals Brazil ahead of them. This is a great generation, and they know it.
I can only feel for Switzerland. There were only a few fans in this stadium, but their team, they played their hearts out. Gut-wrenching to go out at this stage in the manner they did.
Yet another night where they were not able to beat Argentina. 8 meetings between them, and ultimately the Switzerland win amongst them. And again, just like 12 years ago when these two met in the World Cup knockout stage, it is extra time that has sent Argentina on their way at Switzerland's expense. History in many ways is repeating itself. The despondent Granit Xhaka, who is probably playing his best football of his career right now at 33 years old.
It'll be very interesting to hear the press conference from Murat Yakin and Granit Xhaka and the likes.
The end of a 4th World Cup for Granit Xhaka, so he joins Rodriguez's current teammates and Berami and Shaqiri of having achieved that with Switzerland.
प्राप्त हुनुपर्ने स्किल भनेको हामीलाई प्राप्त हुनुपर्ने स्किल
They are dancing
प्राप्त भनेको त्यो
all the way to the final four.
आउने स्किल अघि पारेको हुन्छ अब त्यो इन्टरभ्यू गरेर यहाँ होइन प्राप्त र आउने होइन आउने होइन हजुर अब झिकेको रासन झिकेको रासन
It does feel though, Brad, doesn't it? There might be a shifting of the sands after this for Argentina. I mean, 9 of the Argentinian squad at this World Cup are in their 30s. Only 3 players are younger than 25. So it has this hugely familiar feel to 4 years ago, but it might actually feel mightily different 4 years from now.
If you miss Lionel Messi in your team, you're always going to have a